Hi folks, in this video tutorial we're going to go over the basics of using Jupyter Notebooks for Python. Now I know that most of my videos we use an IDE like PyCharm or Visual Studio Code, and I prefer IDEs because I do a lot of production work, and I find that IDEs and writing scripts that way are much easier for production work and for running things on the command line, batch processing, sensitivity analysis, things like that. But I'm going to work on some data science tutorials coming up, and I think it's going to be a lot easier to show those and to get you guys started with them if you're using a Jupyter notebook. So the first thing you'll need to do is you'll need to install Anaconda. It's really easy to do. Just search for download and install Anaconda, download the Python 3 version, and you'll be ready to go. Now, once you've downloaded Anaconda, on Windows, you can just go search for Anaconda and open up your Anaconda prompt here. And when you see that, if you type Python in your Anaconda prompt, you'll see that it opens up a Python version for you. And I'm just going to type quit here because we don't need the interactive Python session. And I'll zoom in. What we want to do is we want to make sure we have Jupyter installed. And the way we can do that is we can type conda list Jupyter. And this will tell us if we have Jupyter listed. It should give us some information about it here once this command is done running. And you can see here that we have Jupyter installed version 1.0.0. If you don't have Jupyter installed, you can type conda install Jupyter. And I'll type that. Mine's going to give me a message that says the package is already installed. If you don't have it installed already, then it will give you some prompts to install it. It's really easy. You'll just hit yes or no at certain locations, and you can get Jupyter installed. So I'll pause this real quick while this finishes going through the steps here and show you the result, and then I'll show you how you can update Jupyter if you want to make sure it's already there. Oh, it already got done. So all requested packages are already installed. So now I want to make sure this is up to date. So let's do conda update Jupyter. And let's open this up. And so what Jupyter is going to do is going to give you kind of like an IDE. I guess it is an IDE of sorts, where you're going to be able to create notebooks that allow you to embed both code and code outputs, so that you can kind of visualize what the code is doing in an easier manner than the way I usually do it, which is to run the code and show you what the output is. So that's why we're going to use Jupyter Notebooks for some tutorials here in the future. But just keep in mind that for your production work, you still may want to use an IDE. So this is telling me that all these different packages are going to be updated or changed in one way or another if I update Jupyter. I'm just going to say yes, and we're going to go ahead and do it, and hopefully we don't have any problems here. I already had Jupyter installed, so I could use an old version if I need to, but hopefully this goes pretty quick and we're ready to go. So I'm just going to go ahead and pause this while this installation finishes, and then we'll catch back up and we can start using Jupyter once we're done updating. Okay, so Jupyter is finished updating, and now what I can do is I'm just going to go ahead and close my command prompt. I'm done with that for now. I'm going to go back and open up my start menu, and now I'm going to search for Jupyter. And you can see I have Jupyter Notebook with Anaconda 3, which is what I want to run. I'm going to click on that, and we're going to run my Jupyter Notebook. And that's just opening up a blank prompt right now. Let's give it just a sec here. And so what will happen, we're going to open up Google Chrome here, and I'll pop this in a new window for you guys. So after you run the Jupyter program, it's going to open up, like I said, this command window, and this just opens up a local host to a server. So it's hosted on your local computer, and you're going to be able to access your files here, and you're going to be able to create new scripts, and you're going to be able to run those scripts. So that's what we're going to go through now. So from here, I can create a new Python notebook. And I just go over to New, and I'll select Python 3. First, I want to navigate to the folder where I want to save this. So let's see if I can find that. We'll access all the files here. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Documents and have a Python scripts folder here. Let's go back one. Let's make a new folder. And, oops, let's rename this Jupyter Notebooks. Okay. And I'm going to come in here and I'm going to make a new folder again. And I'm going to rename this again. And we'll call this Introduction. Okay, so now I have this introduction folder. I'll go in here and let's create a new Python 3 notebook. And when I do this, it opens up a new tab. And there's this notebook in here. So I can rename this and let's call this Jupyter Intro with OSO. Okay, and now I can type code in here and I can run that code. So let's just try this. Let's do print hello world from my Jupyter notebook. Okay, so I've typed that line of code in, and now if I click run, you can see it prints the result of that line of code out here. Now, let's do something else. Let's try to import. Let's do import OS. And then let's do print os.cwd. That will print the current working directory. And let's try to run that. And we have an error. OS has no attribute cwd. Let's try this again. We can come up here, we can edit this. Let's see if we just don't need the parentheses. Let's click run again. And now we have a syntax error because I left the parenthesis off the end. Now let's click run again. And you can see OS still has no attribute cwd. What could our problem be here? And what the problem is the function for OS is actually get cwd. We'll put parentheses on the end of it. And now let's go ahead and click run. And you can see that it tells me my working directory is here. So I've imported a package or a module, and then I've called that to do something. Now, let's try to just make a quick plot. That's something that Jupyter Notebooks can be really good at. We can edit the code in these cells, and we can print the output down below. So let's do import matplotlib.pyplot as plt. Okay. And then we're going to want to create some data here. And so let's make data equals 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. And then we're going to want to plot this data. So let's say plt.plot our data, and then we'll do plt.show. And before we do that, let's go ahead and give it an axis label, which will be plt.y label my data. Okay, so we've got that. Now let's go ahead and click run. And it didn't show up. Let me figure out why that didn't show up. Oh, and there it is. It just took a second to show up. So now you can see I've created a plot. It shows the code, it shows the plot, and it shows my data label there. Okay, so now you can start to see how we can use a Jupyter Notebook to kind of show the code we're working on and show some things as they happen in sequence, which in some instances might be an easier way to do things than doing it from the console like I've been showing you previously. Okay, so thanks for watching this video. Stay tuned for some more videos about data science where we'll be using Jupyter Notebooks to demonstrate how we can work with data structures and data.